Hey, what is going on everybody? It is Nolan, or the Optimistic Gamer here, and welcome back to Crafted Chaos. Today we are finally addressing our horrible storage situation. I am actually standing right on top of it right now, and there's a little bit more above my head and a little bit more inside of our house. We just have a bit of a disaster happening right now, and I cannot find anything, so we need to organize this. We have a beautiful mod that we are using called the Storage Plus mod, if I can spell it correctly. I think it's Storage Plus. Refined Storage, okay, that's what it was. So the Refined Storage mod will allow us to create various drives and computers and storage modules that we can then access from a wireless interface, and that will be super helpful for when we quickly need to grab anything. It basically expands our inventory to a nearly unlimited size depending on how many storage drives we have installed. So today we are getting started with the basics of that, but before we get too far into it, next episode we are dealing with mystical agriculture, and for that we need to plant some of these seeds so that we have time for these to grow. Now I know it's something like this. In fact, let me look up mystical agriculture because there is a specific resource that we need for this. It is not the prosperity seeds, although that is helpful. It is some kind of essence, I think. You know what? Let's just do this and see what we can craft from the Inferium essence, and then I should be able to recognize. Here it is, the Inferium seeds. So 8 Inferium essence and 1 seed, so that we can grow that, and I don't know what that gets us, but I know that we need it. So we will go ahead and get a jump on that. And we certainly have lots of seeds and definitely lots of Inferium essence as well, so we can go ahead and get all of this into place and begin crafting those Inferium seeds. Now, I don't believe our Serene Seasons mod will affect the growth of these, so when we plant them, these should grow at their normal pace. I know it's not very quick, that's why we are planting them now, so that we can be ready when it is time to take care of these in the next episode. I'm going to save some of that extra for the other resources that we will need. We will put this away, go sleep real quick, and then get started with our storage. Now here's what I know about the storage. We need a disk drive, we need a storage monitor, and a constructor, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe that is for the monitor. I know for a fact we need the disk drive and storage monitor, so we will get started with those, and I do believe these have to be powered in some method, so we will also have to do that as well. So let's check out what we need for the disk drive. It looks like 6 iron, quartz enriched iron actually. This might require us to step into the nether for the first time. We also need to make a chest and a machine casing and an advanced processor, which is made with a raw advanced processor, which is a diamond redstone processor binding made with slime and string, and silicon, which is made from quartz. So yeah, we are going to step into the nether for the first time. I wasn't really anticipating on doing this today, but hey, I think we are prepared, and it is finally time to do that. So I need to figure out where we want this portal. I think I will just put it right here. This will be a good spot for it. Let me grab one of our backpacks real quick. I should probably also bring a little bit more food considering the fact that we are out. Maybe after mystical agriculture, we will set foot into the nether and actually do some real exploring. And I forget where we got these from, but we have all of these fire resistance potions. Those may have come from the chests that we found down in the caves, but I don't remember for sure. But the pork chop right here is almost finished. We will grab that last piece And let's go light our portal and head into this new dimension. It may lag quite a bit at first as we load everything in. And we will go ahead and drink the fire resistance potion. Of course, we have spawned in a basalt delta. Not really ideal, but we have some nether wastes right over here. And a mob that has spawned over in that direction. So we will just move around this lava quickly and keep our distance from him. And we are here again really only for this quartz. So we will grab some of that, then be on our way. And there is quite a bit of it around here. That is wonderful. It'd be nice if we had fortune, but that will be a luxury that comes later on. And I'll also point out, as far as I know, the digital miner should work inside of the nether dimension. I don't know why it wouldn't, so we will bring that in here, or maybe make a second one at some point that we can bring here and have that for dedicated use. So I have 35 quartz now. I might get a little bit more and then we will head back. And we will call 1 stack sufficient. We can always come back and grab more if we need it. It wouldn't be a return from the nether if it wasn't raining, so let's step inside and create some of our first components. We might actually head over to the barn to do all of this, and I really didn't need that backpack, did I? Well, I forgot to bring it anyway. So these machines are all made with lots and lots of iron and lots of quartz. So I put all of the iron, well, some of it, now all of it, into our blast furnace, the iron that we collected from our digital miner in the last episode. So that is going through there. Once that is finished, we will put some of that quartz in to get our silicon. So the disk drive requires 6 of those quartz-enriched iron, which we make with 3 iron and 1 quartz, and that gives us 4 enriched iron per. So 1 quartz for 4 of those ingots, that is a pretty good trade-off. And we will surround a block of stone, any kind of stone, I believe, to make the machine casing, which will then go in the middle of our crafting table. So we can do that real quick. I have a piece of cobblestone, and we can surround that with the enriched quartz. And I guess cobblestone doesn't work, it has to be some kind of stone. I did see in the recipes that tuff would work, but not cobblestone apparently. There we go, there's our first machine casing. I'll grab a little bit more of that for the others that we will need, and that will go in the center. And then we also need a few more of those enriched ingots. Those will go on the sides like this. And then we have an advanced processor here on the bottom and a chest up top. The chest is super simple. I already have a bunch of those. And then the advanced processor is probably a little bit more advanced given the name. This is the diamond, redstone, and processor binding with the silicon. I have the diamond already. We have one of those redstone pieces. And then we need to make the silicon and the processor binding. So I will pull that iron out of there. We will put some of this quartz, maybe 8 of it, through the blast furnace. That should give us our silicon. And we will see if it does. Excellent. So we have our silicon now, and we get the advancement silicon. There we go. And the last object is that binding, which is made with a slime and 2 string. I know I have slime, it's the string that I'm not 100% on, but I have killed a few spiders here and there, so we should hopefully have a little bit of string. Here we go. And perfect, the slime in the same chest. That will give us 8 processor bindings. Excellent. And then we can combine all of these ingredients together to create our raw advanced processor. And then I think we cook this. Yes, we put it through a furnace. We will throw that in there if we can. It might have to be just a regular furnace though. So we'll let that raw iron continue to smelt up. and head over to our normal furnace. We will get this put through, and then from here we can make our disk drive. And I'm assuming we will get an advancement for this one as well. And there we go, drives. I called it. Craft a disk drive to be able to store your disks. So we will plop that down right here for now. And currently, we don't have anything in here. We need to make some disks. Now, we have a bunch of different options right up here, but I think we will just start with the very basic 1K storage disk. I think we need the previous parts. Yeah, we need the previous parts to upgrade those anyway. So I think if we just start with the 1K storage part, that will be a good starting point for us. We can put some of our more loose items in there in the meantime. So I saw that it is 4 silicon, which we actually have. I'll let that iron finish up real quick. And we will head over to the crafting table for silicon. I just want to see what I can craft out of this right now. We are just missing the redstone. How about that? So we will craft that together for our 1K storage part. And actually, the 4K is just 3 of those 1K storage parts with a storage housing. The storage housing is redstone. Of course, we don't have to do that. We can craft it with the housing around it, which we are just missing some of those ingots, and the 4K storage part, which we will need 2 more of the 1K storage parts and some raw basic processors. Those are actually pretty cheap to make, but it looks like we are going to need a lot of silicon. So let's go ahead and throw a bunch of that quartz into there. And I think we may opt... We may opt for some of these. Yeah, we have gold. I think we can afford the 16K storage part. Now, hypothetically, if we were to go for this very advanced 4096, that's fluid. We don't want fluid. We want, what's the biggest storage? 64K. This is the biggest. This is going to require all of those storage parts that we are making along the way, plus 4 of these advanced processors, which we have already made. And then it will require 9 of these 4K storage parts, which means it will require 27 of the 1K storage parts, and about 100 of these basic processing units. You know, it's ambitious, but I think we should just go for it. I don't see why not. It's not that much more expensive, just much more time consuming, but we should hopefully be able to get all of our items into it, and it gives us plenty of room for expansion. It will require another trip back to the Nether, but I'm gonna do the math here, crunch some numbers, figure out how much of all of these raw resources we need, and then I will meet all of you back here when it is time to craft that 64,000 storage part. You know, I'm not really sure how I feel about this. Yeah. Anyway, I wrote down everything that we will need, all of the raw resources, and we will go ahead and put these in this backpack that we will just leave right in here. So the processing bindings, we already have those, and we just kind of need to fill in everything else. We do need to go back to the Nether. We need approximately 183 quartz for this. I already have quite a bit of it, of course, that we came back with, but I will still need a couple more stacks of that before we will be good to go. So I will go grab that here in a moment, and believe it or not, it is actually only 4 diamonds that we will need for the 64,000 storage part. It looks like it would be a lot more, but it's just those 4 corners right there. We will need 36 iron plus 69 iron for the enriched iron ingots and the iron that we will use for the basic processing. So I have the 69 right there, and then we will need 36 additional, so let me go see if we have 27 iron. Actually, we might have some in this blast furnace still. If not, we may need to activate the digital miner. Also, I've switched to lava for fuel. I don't know why I haven't been doing that before. It is much more efficient than using up all of our coal. And it doesn't look like I have any iron anywhere, so I think we will go ahead and switch on the digital miner. It should be fully charged up here, and we will just start that. It should start mining iron for us. There we go, and we will just get that up to 27, and this will give us all of the iron that we need. So we will get that added into there, and I think I turned all of our quartz into silicon already. Just wanted to make the most out of our furnace while it has fuel, but we have our cauldron over there that refills pretty often, so I'm not too worried about that. So we need 12 gold in here, and I think I have some gold over in one of our chests. Here we are, 12 gold and 81 glass. I have 61, 64 now, so we just need 17 more. I wonder if I can put sand through the blast furnace in this mod pack. That would be very convenient, but I don't know if it will work. It will not. Okay. So we will throw this into our normal furnace and get 17 more. Oh, I forgot about this quartz right here. So let me throw this into the blast furnace real quick. It's just a lot of running back and forth right now, isn't it? But I want to make the most of that fuel that's in there. So that will turn into silicon, and we can throw this sand in for the glass. And it would be nice if this cauldron would fill up here pretty soon, because I don't really have much coal at the moment. I suppose I could turn on a filter for that. In fact, I do not have any coal, so that is a little shocking. I will go ahead and throw the filter on here for that, and we will get some coal going. Looks like I already have it in there, so we can go ahead and disable those other two. And we will start that up. Excellent. And I only need a couple pieces, so this shouldn't take all that long. Actually, I'm going to let the energy charge up on that for just a little bit. It seems to run better when we have a full power bank in there and can get that going right away. And then we will also need the materials for the processor bindings. That is made with slime, which might actually be an issue for us because we had a little bit of slime up front. Oh no, here we go. Excellent, and it is just enough for us. Fantastic, and then 12 string, we just need one more. A spider is not an issue if we do not have an extra string, which surprisingly enough, we do not, or maybe I'm just not looking hard enough. Let me see if we took an extra string over to our workshop. And we do have a little bit of string in that chest left over. Excellent. So we need 6 slime and 12 string for that, in addition to the processor bindings that we already have. And this is all charged up. We will get that started and get a few coal a lot quicker than we normally would. There we go. We will get this added to the furnace to get the rest of our glass, and I'm gonna call it a day. And we are back once again, watching the sun rise over the ocean. The glass is finishing up, and once that is done, all that's really left is going to be that silicon. So I'm gonna run into the nether real quick. I'm just gonna double check how much quartz I need to mine, and then we will be good to get going on this whole process. Always with the rain every time you exit the nether. So I have all of the quartz that we are going to need for this project. Let me grab a bucket of lava so that we can get that through. I do not have a bucket yet. Okay. Rather, I do not have lava yet. I have plenty of buckets. We will keep an eye on that. So 2 stacks of quartz extra is what I needed, and then we have a couple left over that we can set aside for a later project, and we will get that run through there. And then everything else is primed to go, although we are still missing the redstone. We have a little bit, but we actually need 92 redstone. Yes, 92 to complete this project. So let me see if I have any redstone anywhere. And we may have to dive down into our cave that is underwater. We have 64, 66, so that puts us at 77. We need 15 more. Maybe we could just grab that from the digital miner. Alright, I got that filter applied. We will go ahead and mine up some of this redstone. Again, we only need 15 of it. We are going to get way more than we actually need, but I will also let this continue to run. There we go. 3 sets of 5. I will let that continue to run for a little while so we can get an extra amount of redstone. I don't know why this is taking so long. The lava's dripping, but it just doesn't want to fill up. So we will add the 92 redstone to the backpack in here. We will put 23 quartz aside because we will use that in its raw form for those enriched iron ingots. And the rest of that will go into the blast furnace. And I guess I do have a little bit of coal that we can use while we wait for that lava to fill up. Everything else, though, is pretty much here. We have everything that we need to create our storage drive. So let me clean up my inventory a little bit and then we will get started on this. And then I also have the extra glass that we will need as well. I will hang on to one of those buckets. Hopefully, pretty soon we will have some lava over in that cauldron. In the meantime, let's go ahead and craft all of our processing bindings. I could not think of the name for those. So 55 of those, roughly what we will need. I think it's 52 actually, but a little extra won't hurt. And then we have to craft all of these different processors. So we need 4 basic processors, and actually no, 36 basic processors times 9. Well, okay, 4 basic processors times 9 is 36 because they all require 3 of the previous unit. So the 64 requires 316 times 3, so 9 of these 4K parts, which means 36, or no, 27 of the 1K parts. My math is not mathing today. So let's go ahead and craft those basic processors. 36 iron for these, so we will set aside a handful of those, 5 of those, and then redstone in there, our processing bindings, and silicon. That will give us 36 of these basic processors. And 36. Excellent. We will probably get an advancement for this. Oh, or not. Alright. And then we need 12 of the improved processors. That is going to use our gold, which either I did not put the gold in the backpack or it has disappeared somewhere. Hang on, let me locate this. Alright, I found it. It tried to make a hasty escape, but we have the gold now, so let's make those. Same exact thing, except gold instead of iron. That will give us 12 of those improved processors. And then 4 of those advanced processors. Once again, just the same ingredients with diamonds instead of gold or iron. We will cook all of these in the blast furnace once the quartz is finished. And then we can make our 92 enriched iron that we are going to need, which is 69 iron right here, plus 23 quartz, which I believe, I guess, just got mixed in with this quartz right here. So 23 quartz right there, and we will split that up. That will give us 72, 92, the exact amount of the enriched iron that we need. And from here on out, it is just going to be crafting all of those different storage parts because We are just waiting on the silicon now, but once we have those, that is the 1K part, we will get a few of those, put that together with the quartz and the redstone dust, and the process continues all the way up to the final storage part. Of course, I also need to put all of the processors through the blast furnace, and it might not be a bad idea to make a second one of those. Actually, I'm not 100% sure that we can put it through a blast furnace, so we will just put them through our normal furnace and play it safe. Plus, we can do two things at once while the quartz finishes up. And still, no lava in here, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit more coal mining. In the meantime, we can take a look at some of the other resources that we are going to need. Now, it's been a while since I've used this mod, so I don't remember for sure, but I am pretty confident that we will need a storage monitor, which will require a couple more of these basic processors and all of those as well. So I think we can go ahead and make a few more. We will need 2 basic processors right there, plus 3 for the construction core, and 4 for the deconstruction core. So 4 more of those means 4 more iron, silicon, processor bindings, and redstone dust. Of course, we are left with only 3 processor bindings, but we have a little bit of extra slime. Not much, but enough to get by. And we have a lot of silicon rolling in, so I think we can go ahead and craft our first set of storage parts. We need 27 of the 1K storage parts, so let's go ahead and find the recipe for that. Move everything here. Right now, we can craft 10 of those. And the wait continues for the rest of the silicon here to finish up. I guess while we wait on everything, we can take a closer look at this. I guess we can harvest this. Okay, and this will give us an infinite supply of inferium essence. It's sort of, yeah, okay, that makes sense. So we get 1 seed back that we can replant, and we get a little bit of inferium essence from it. So I will stay on top of this between now and the next episode because we are going to need a lot of this stuff. And I don't know, I just right-clicked the farmland and it turned it into inferium farmland. I wonder if it actually grows faster on here. Alright, I just read about it on the wiki. It looks like this stuff will actually grow, well, not grow faster, but give us a higher yield if it is on inferium farmland. So we will go ahead and do that. I'm not gonna remove the ones that are near the end of their growth phase, but these smaller ones right here, we can go ahead and get those out of the ground, and that one just finished growing. And we will just convert all of this farmland to inferium farmland. I know we're kind of dealing with this a little bit ahead of schedule, but it gives me something to do while we wait on everything else. And I will plant all of these, what are these called? Inferium seeds? I guess just inferium plants. We will return those to the ground. So the basic processors are just about finished. Hey everyone, me from the future here. So this episode actually got to be almost an hour long, so I have decided to split it in half, and I will release the second half of our storage episode next week at the normal time, so that will be on Wednesday. Sorry for the inconvenience, but I really didn't want to have an episode this long. So that's what we are going to go with. But if you enjoyed today's episode, definitely hit the thumbs up button and make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on daily content as soon as I publish it. Check the description for some more important information, links, how to contact me. With all of that being said, comment, like, subscribe, remember to stay optimistic, and I'll see all of you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Bye.